Great Scott. Great Scott. Great Scott.
Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of Great Scott. I'm Scotty V. Thanks for watching. So, not too long ago, I guess about a week now, my one Man of Steel statue that I was actually able to get arrived. I am very happy with the way it looks. This is, of course, the iconic symbolism that we got from as early as the very first shot of Henry Cavill in the suit. And this is right after he stands back up after being thrown into the bank vault in Smallville. Now, when this picture was released 2 years ago or whatever it was, we had no idea where this bank vault was, what it was that was powerful enough to throw him into it, and how exactly he was going to react. But you could tell by the look of determination and some might say anger on Henry Cavill's face that Superman was certainly not happy about the condition he had been put in. Now that we've all seen the movie, we know what happened. We know he gets thrown into the bank vault in Smallville after getting thrown through the wall of the bank, and then he comes back fighting, of course, and in the end he takes them all down. This statue is cool because it has a opposable cape. It has wiring in it, so you can actually put the cape in different directions. It comes with a little placard that it stands on that's shaped like the S from the Man of Steel movie. It doesn't look like this one. It looks like, of course, the one that's on his chest there. And the likeness to Henry Cavill is very, very cool. It's very lifelike. I've showcased some of my Superman Returns statues in previous editions of this vidcast, and I'm not nearly as happy with those as I am with this. Those are much more simple. They are, I'm looking at one now, and it I don't know. So it's more cartoony and not as lifelike. This is much more realistic. It looks like a body in movement. It looks like Henry Cavill, and it looks like how Henry Cavill looked, of course, in Man of Steel. Now, speaking of Man of Steel, we've had some news about the sequel to Man of Steel. There was some filming that happened not too long ago. Two football teams, one supposedly standing in for the Metropolis team and one standing in for the Gotham team. Gotham team being dressed in black and gold and Metropolis team in red and white. I talked to Steve about this on the Radio KAL live broadcast from this past Monday, and we were kind of surprised that the jerseys for Metropolis were white and red, whereas the jerseys for Gotham were black and gold, which is exactly what Batman's colors are, whereas Superman doesn't wear white. The jerseys for Metropolis were all white with red numbers and I guess a red collar. And I was thinking that it's possible that it could be that those are the home team colors and that when they go on the road, the Metropolis colors would be blue and red or something along those lines. But I've always thought it was kind of silly in shows like Smallville where the Crow was wearing the red cape and was standing there with its hands on his hips. These were iconic poses that were introduced to the lexicon of superheroes by Superman himself. So I guess on Smallville they were trying to show where he got some of his influences from, and the whole idea was we were never going to see him in the suit. So at least we'll see some of what kind of looks like what Superman might look like in the suit if we ever would see him in the show, which we finally saw a CGI'd version at the end of the Smallville finale, but a lot of fans weren't happy with that. I guess what I'm saying here is for a movie, and especially a movie franchise where they're trying to go with a more realistic take on it, Superman's costume comes from Krypton. Not that a college or a university couldn't later on model their uniforms after Superman, if Superman is the champion of Metropolis and of the world, but he makes his home in Metropolis, or at least makes that the main place that he protects, or it's known to people that that's where he operates most of the time. They could redesign their uniforms to make them look more like Superman's uniform, but for Superman to get his influences from other things that are already established kind of takes that whole idea of his uniform, his colors, and his style being from Krypton and throws it out the window, which, on Smallville, they kind of hinted that maybe Clark got his idea for a cape by looking at a crow on the wall of his high school. So I kind of while I like the idea of the uniforms being modeled more after the colors of the hero, from what we've heard, Batman is kind of retired, or he's a seasoned hero. He's been at it for a long time, and maybe at this point in time, people in Gotham know about him. He's not as much a mysterious, dark, shadowy legend as he is a legendary hero that people know and love, whereas Superman is fairly new, and these costumes for the football team already exist. These uniforms were already in use, possibly. So those could be some explanations. The other thing that seemed to possibly leak out, if true, the rumor is that Ben Affleck was on site and did film a scene. There's also a counter rumor that he was in another state altogether filming for a different project, and that he couldn't have been at this football game that was being filmed. And of course, all word that we've received officially was that they were going to be filming some extra scenes. And now we've kind of heard a rumor that it will be the opening of the movie, and we've heard one of the executives speaking and saying that yes, Batman is in the movie. Batman and Superman will come together at some point. There will be capes involved. There will be lots of action and lots of adventure. We've got some great, wonderful scenes with these two characters. Snyder and the other people working on the movie know exactly what they're doing, have a great story, and have a great representation of these two characters in mind, and everyone is going to be pleased with that representation. That being said, at this point in time, that's the best I could hope for. We've already gotten Batman in the movie, which was something I would have never advocated for, and I don't think Man of Steel fans would have advocated for this soon, but it's happening. Could he be not much more than a cameo? Could he be a Nick Fury type figure who's not so much training Superman, but kind of trying to help him curtail himself, or help him mold himself into a greater hero for the people or something? That kind of belittles Superman too. But maybe he's an investigative detective, as Batman should be, and yet never has been in any of his movie representations, and we'll actually see him investigating Superman and trying to figure out if he's a threat, and trying to figure out what he could possibly do about it, and hopefully realizing that not very much, but maybe he could befriend him, and maybe he could watch him from close. Keep your friends close. Keep your enemies closer, and at the moment, he may not be sure as to whether or not the Man of Steel is someone's enemy. It looked as though he was protecting the Earth, but in the first movie, but who exactly knows? But the rumor was that Ben Affleck filmed a scene underneath the football stadium where he was giving a pep talk to the Gotham football team, and somebody said to me, not only do we have to watch Ben Affleck as Batman, they've already ruined the character, but now he's a coach in this. That's a possibility, I suppose. If you were the owner of a football team, you could certainly decide to coach if you wanted to, and if you had the power and the influence and the money that Bruce Wayne has, you could do basically whatever you wanted. We don't know if he actually filmed this. We don't know if this is a leakage of a script page. We don't know if somebody just made this up. The idea is that somebody on their way to the restroom ran into somebody else who knew someone else who was an extra who had filmed a scene earlier in the day with Ben Affleck, and that the scene was that he was giving a pep talk to the football players. My thought on this was, if it did happen, it's possible that Bruce Wayne is the owner of the football team, and sometimes the owner comes in and has a few words or says a few things. It doesn't necessarily mean he's the coach. It could also mean he's just an inspiration to the team. Maybe he supplies some money. Maybe he bought the stadium. Maybe he supplied their uniforms, their workout equipment. Maybe they know him. Maybe he, to them, is a hero in his own right, that he supports the team and supports the city, and maybe he's given public speeches before, and maybe people look up to him in the city, and he's done a lot of good, just as Batman has done good on the other side, although they don't know he's the same person. So I wouldn't expect he's a coach, although they could go that way. As I said, if he's supplying the money to the team, he could say one day that he wants to be the coach too. But some exciting things are happening, and some executives again from the WB have said that they are a lot further along on the Man of Steel sequel than we would expect. And I guess, according to some extras present at the scene, some of the PAs or some of the people involved in direction and moving people along were referring to the movie as Batman versus Superman. But again, I think this is just what it's being referred to as of right now. And until we hear officially that that is the official title and that is announced as being such, well, I'm still going to go with that's what they're going with, because that's what people understand it as, and that's what people are hearing about as of right now. And we'll see what title they end up with as we move forward. But it's exciting. It's an exciting time. I mean, any day, any week, we could hear more news. Any moment, there could be another scene filming. There could be another star spotting. There could be new costumes spotted. There could be new villains spotted. We're moving into that time again. We had it with Man of Steel a few years ago, or a year and a half ago, and we'll have it with this movie as we move forward. And right up until the day of release, we'll be seeing different things on TV and going, "Oh, that looks really cool." And at the same time, we Superman and Man of Steel fans will be concerned that somehow they're going to put too much Batman influence in this movie and somehow ruin what we were hoping would be a new Superman franchise. But we won't really know until it actually appears. So it's exciting. Thanks everybody for watching. And remember, I am the night. I am the darkness. I'm not the hero or football player this town needs, but I'm the one it's going to get. And my voice is weird.